Well, I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
No problem. Thanks for reaching out.
Maelstrom of Chaos is out, and it's a banger from top to bottom. You got to be very happy with it.
Yeah, it came out pretty much as I had hoped it was going to, which was a little bit heavier than the one before. Maybe a little bit more, as the title suggests, chaotic.
Yes, sir.
Some of the songs are like, pretty messy sounding, deliberately so, like influences from across, lots of metal genres, while still hopefully the umbrella it fits under is thrash mostly, but there's a bit of black metal, power metal, prog metal, traditional metal. There's a little bit of hints of a lot of things in there. So yeah, I'm
Sure.
pretty happy.
And I wanted to ask you, as far as production wise, were there any changes in the process for you?
Um, Not so much changes. I guess the only thing that was a little bit different was before the first song was like started, I spoke to Raul who does the drums and we wanted to go with something that was more like of a raw kind of 80s thrash kind of, almost not super well slickly produced kind of drum
Yeah.
sound. A little more noisy, but still, sounding clean and stuff. So that's what we did, and that was the that was the only thing that changed, I guess, from because the drum sound on the first three albums are very similar. The fourth album now it sounds a little more raw, I think, overall. So it suited the music, which I think for a
Sure.
lot of the songs was a little rawer maybe than some of the other stuff.
And I wanted to ask you as well, the title track, if you could speak on the song, and did the track come before the title of the album?
Uh, yeah, exactly. It did because sometimes an album will come like the name will come first and then you
Sure.
work from there, or you're finished the album and you'll be like, what am I going to call this? And that's what I
Right.
did with the first three. They're not named after a specific track, but after I had that song written and the lyrics written and stuff, I was like, that is a good name for an album. And it kind of reminded me in a way of like Creator, probably, Hordes of
Sure.
Chaos, of course, is not called that, but I mean, I was thinking about them because I love Creator, and I was like, yeah, this is going to make for a great album name, and it kind of accidentally fell into where I think some of the music was, which was a little more chaotic than before.
Sure. And another one of my favorite tracks is Divide and Descent. I wanted to ask if you could speak on that track.
Um, sure, I guess lyrically, the song is, I guess, kind of a statement about how it feels in society today.
Hmm.
Um, Everybody seems to be so, divided in their opinions and so polarized that there's no like middle ground. It's either, I'm right, you're wrong. Like
Sure.
there's no like, and there's so people are so down in their rabbit holes of whatever political side of the spectrum you're on. Whereas to me, there's lots of reasons to come together and to say, if I'm allowed to swear, I'm not sure,
Yes, you
but
are.
okay, I was gonna say, well, like fuck all that stuff, fuck
Right.
politicians and fuck the left and right. We're
Sure.
all into the same kinds of things, metal and entertainment wise. Why do we need to be so misled by the media and politicians from everywhere and get so angry with each other over stuff that a few years ago we never really didn't seem to drive society so much, and it
Sure.
didn't seem to make people hate each other so much. And it seems like ever since COVID, the division in society has just been off the rails, and it has inspired a
Absolutely.
lot of my lyrics, obviously, as you probably know.
Sure.
And yeah, so that's just a statement, divide and dissent, about how things are, basically a statement about that.
And who put the video together for Dusk and Divination?
His name is Luis. He's a guy that Morbid Records works with a lot for doing their music videos, lyric videos. So this was kind of a lyric video slash music video
Hmm.
because we're in the video, but I mean it's
Yes.
also lyrics come up and there's some visuals that suit the lyrics and the theme about I guess the decay of society and religion and turn into dust, literally kind of thing.
Sure.
So yeah, he's done the videos for us before, and he did that one. And just today, you probably never saw it yet because it's just been up for a couple hours. We have a new music video today for the cover song from the album, which is Major Tom Coming
Yeah.
Home by Peter Schillings. So that video just launched today, and that was an actual music video, not a lyric video.
Wow. And I wanted to ask you, now that everything is complete, I wanted to ask you, what's the next step for you? Will this become a live entity?
It isn't in the cards right now. Like, I guess my main band that like has everybody physically here in the same city as me, that we get together, we rehearse. That's Category 6. That band is a live entity, although we're kind of down in a rabbit hole writing new music and
Hmm.
recording and stuff right now. As for Triskelion, it's like the core of the band is myself, Dwayne, who does bass, and Raul does drums.
Hmm.
Uh, Drums done in Brazil, bass done in Nova Scotia, and me here in St. John's, Newfoundland, doing the guitars. So we're not physically in the same place.
Sure.
Not to say that I would be against, having a performing band to do this music, but I mean, it's not something I'm actively trying to do right now, kind of thing.
And I wanted to ask you, upon the making of the album, were there tracks that didn't make the cut for the album?
Um, Not fully realized tracks, no.
Okay.
Um, I kind of make my decisions on is it good enough or early enough on. Like I'm always writing riffs, which are pieces of songs, ideas for songs. So some of those didn't make the cut because I listened back to you get all excited, you come up with a riff and you're like, oh, this is going to be killer. And you hear it the next day and you go, what was I thinking? That's crap.
Sure.
So I ditched those kinds of things, but I've never actually like fully written and then recorded a song and then said, you know what, I don't like it. Like I would
Right.
stop the process before I got so deep into, lyrics and drums and everything. So yeah,
Well,
there's no leftover songs that didn't make the cut. There's probably leftover riffs, like always, that not
mm,
that it didn't make the cut. I just, decided that, 10 songs or whatever it is
right.
enough kind of thing, right?
And I wanted to ask you if you could take me back in time and tell me how your musical career started
With Triskelion or just in general?
in general.
In general, well, I guess you'd have to go way back into the later 80s.
Mhm.
I was, in school and just jamming with friends kind of thing, doing mostly cover songs. We played everything from Poison to Celtic Frost kind of thing. It was
Oh,
just like
wow.
the whole spectrum of, which has been, my metal life ever since. I've liked everything from glam to black metal
Sure.
forever, kind of thing. I don't limit myself to just one subgenre kind of deal. But yeah, that's kind of where it started in high school. Just jamming with friends, and we had a band, and we recorded a few, EPs or demos, kind of thing, like on a four
Mhm.
track, machine. That would have been like probably very early 90s, I guess, when we started recording stuff. So that's where it started. And then when I moved from my hometown, small hometown, to here in St. John's, I was in a band with a bunch of guys when I was in university called Oberon, and we did kind of a death thrash kind of mixture, kind of speed metal thing, and from Oberon it went to I guess Category 6, and
Mhm.
then Triskelion is run in parallel with Category 6, and it was, I guess, born out of I guess downtime during pandemic when people were, not getting together so much physically, and
Sure.
I just, went down the road of seeing if I could record things myself, and because it gets depressing when you're a creative person and you're sitting around and you got like
Oh,
8 million riffs or ideas and no way to make them, to realize
reality.
them, kind of thing. So.
And along that musical journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that's been given to you along the way?
No one has given me like specific like advice, like sat me down and said you need to do this, not that kind of advice,
Mhm.
but I guess advice from reading interviews with other musicians I look up to. Something that something that Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost said in an interview has become pretty much my mantra, and it's create, don't copy. Um, even though I do a cover song on every album, I've never been in a cover band. I've never done cover gigs, and I've you know sat down and learned things note for note or whatever. So that kind of, I guess, sort of advice you'd call it, or opinion that he has on things, always stuck with me, and keep creating basically, and just to satisfy yourself and your own needs for being creative, I guess, is more important than playing music for the masses or writing music that is gonna be on the radio all the time, or getting you into cover gigs or stuff like that. I gotta move my cat here. Say hello, cat.
I have mine right beside me as well.
Oh, she hears me talking. She got to jump up and walk around. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, the album's out. What is the best way to get a hold of the album and any merchandise that you have?
Um, I guess it's available through like a whole bunch of different retailers and distributors throughout North America, throughout the US, and I guess Europe and stuff. It's even available, I believe, through some distributor in Russia of all places, which is super wild and cool. Um, I guess the easiest place if you want a physical copy is through Morbin Records directly or through the Bandcamp site. That's the easiest place. And long live the CD and or vinyl format, of course, because streaming is great and it's convenient, but us artists make micro cents from that if we ever see it at all. So
Sure.
much cooler for people to buy a physical product, even if they just buy it to have it and put it on the shelf and then go listen on Spotify. You're actually supporting an artist more so with a physical purchase than a streaming the album a few times kind of deal. But it's cool for anyone to check it out, no matter how they check it out. But hopefully they buy it from Morbin Records and support the ongoing creation of more music from that label as a
Mm.
whole.
And we spoke about the past and the 90s and stuff, and you've seen a lot of changes in the music industry. I wanted to ask you, what do you feel are the pros and cons of being a musician today?
Um, well, yeah, back in the 90s, before like, I guess by the mid to late 90s when the internet took off, it was a different world. No, there was no way for your music to be really heard by anybody, um, unless you were like really into mailing stuff out kind of deal. So that the pro of today is technology has made the world smaller and has made the reach of a small artist like Triskelyon be able to reach out to people around the world, which never would have happened in the 90s. No one would have ever
Sure.
heard about this. So that's it. That's the big bonus. You have way more reach. I guess the cons of today is maybe that's also a con, right, in a way, because um, everybody has equal access. Everybody's a pro. Everybody's a whatever, and there's so much noise that who's filtering the good from the bad or
Sure.
whatever. Everybody can make up their own minds what's good and bad, of course, but I mean, you know, and also the bad of today is the cult of the YouTube guitar player or the Instagram guitar player. Like, even though I've watched some of those things and those people are super impressive musicians, it's like it's not my world, right? I grew
Right.
up in an era where, some guy sitting down making videos of himself shredding a million notes in a mile was never a thing. It was more like write music, be in a band, or record your own songs. And that's still what I'm doing now. And, I've never sat down and made videos of myself shredding in my room kind of deal. It's not what
Sure.
I'm into. But yeah, so to each their own, right? So it's a big world and there's a lot more bands than there was in the 90s and 80s, and that's good and bad, I guess, in a way. But I guess the people that decide if things are okay enough to release, like being on a record label like Morbin Records is a huge push to a small artist. They're
Sure.
an underground label. I'm an underground artist myself, so to be on that and not just by myself and not being able to have any budget for a music video or recording, it helps a lot. So
Absolutely.
that's why I hope people buy the album, of course, because it supports small
Sure.
musicians like myself who are not world known at all, right?
Right. And that's why I enjoy what I do is it gives me an opportunity to go through albums and artists that some people may overlook. And I try to sift out what I feel is the best of the best.
Cool. Yeah, it's hard to sift through. Like I know there's hundreds of releases every single week, pretty much. And
Absolutely.
how does a band like Triskelion like rise to the top of someone's list to go, I'm going to listen to that. And, like, I don't know how it happens, but, because I'm not pushing this every day on YouTube or, like I haven't gone viral or nothing like that. It's just, I believe in just hard work and keep on writing music and
Yeah.
satisfy myself first. I want to like what I'm doing. And if
Right.
someone like yourself hears it and goes, that's pretty cool. I should talk to this guy or, play his music or, that's the icing on the cake. Like it's what makes it worthwhile. Even though I would do it, even if it was just record it for my own listening pleasure, I'd
Sure.
probably still be recording.
Absolutely. And that's the drive of an artist, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely. To just driven to create or to make things, whatever your art form is, whether you're a writer or a painter or a musician, you do it because you're going to do it anyway. And
Sure.
if nobody buys it or listens to it, well, hey, you're happy, you're being creative, and you're contributing something artistic to the world that hopefully some people will like. So
Sure. And that's reminds me of the phrase 10 or 10,000. Whether you're in front of 10 people or 10,000, you always want to show your best.
yeah, 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 definitely.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you, and speaking of fans, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
A message to fans. I guess if they're already a fan, then thank you for being a fan and for checking out our music and buying our albums or streaming our music. That's great. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you share it with your friends, and
Absolutely.
we can continue on making new albums and recording new music. And hopefully they'll stick around and ride the Triskelion journey that I'm on with recording and releasing an album just about every year so far. We'll see if 2026 will hopefully bring a new one and see where it goes.
Well, I wanted to take a moment to thank you for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom. It made me go back and look at your past catalog.
Oh, cool, cool. Did you like the new one better than the previous three, or
I do. I think the new one
that's
is the
cool?
strongest album that you've released. I love the energy in the album. I think it's a great decision to provide that chaos.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So it seemed as a listener you found it was heavier than the previous three overall.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Well, I succeeded. That was the plan to make it a bit heavier, but still maintain enough melody so that somebody who was into more I guess a melodic kind of thrash or whatever would not go, ooh, death metal or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for taking time to speak with me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah. And thank you for checking out Triskelion and having a chat with me.
Please feel free to update me at any time with any new news as it comes about, my friend.
Yep. Cool. I will. Thank you.
All right, thank you, and you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Cheers.
Cheers.